Hello students, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss from your class 12th English textbook, Vistas, chapter 2, The Tiger King. In this part of the video, we are going to discuss a very interesting story about a Maharaja. Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram. He is the hero of this story. Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram, Jalani Jang Jang Bahadur, had many titles affixed to his name. But his name is often shortened to the Tiger King. And there is a very interesting story behind it. As soon as the king was born, the astrologers had foretold that the king would actually have to die. And the story continues like this. They said that the king will grow as warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions, and then they couldn't continue because that was something that was to be kept as secret. And when they were pressurized to continue, so they continued. And they said that the child born under this hour will actually have to die. And when they said that, a miracle took place. You know what was the miracle? An infant baby, a 10-day-old baby, actually that was the prince, the crown prince. He said that in a squeaky manner, in a squeaky voice, he spoke. And when he spoke, all the people in that courtroom, they were highly surprised to see that a very small baby, an infant baby, was speaking so clearly. And the baby continued that if you are saying that the king will die, nothing new in that. All who are born, one day they will have to die. But if you tell the manner of the death, then there will be some sense in what you are saying. And then the astrologers continued that the child was born in the hour of the bull, and the bulls and the tigers are the enemies. So therefore, the death comes from the tiger. And actually, it was just a rumor rife in that state. And the child grew up. He grew up taller, stronger, sharper, and he was brought up by English nanny. He drank the milk of the English cow. He saw nothing but English movies. And finally, when he reached to the age of 20, he was ordained as the king. He was ordained as the Maharaja. It began the celebration time for all the tigers in the state of Pratibandhapuram. Why? Because the order was passed by the king that if anyone dares to fling a stone on a tiger, then his entire property would be confiscated. Why? Because the king himself wanted to kill all the tigers. Then one day the king falls, the Maharaja falls under the risk of losing his kingdom, the danger of losing his kingdom. Reason because a high-ranking British officer, one day he visited that kingdom, Pratibandhapuram, and he saw that that kingdom was full of many forests, and that those forests are full of tigers. And that man was fond of hunting the tigers, and also he was fond of taking photographs, to be photographed with the carcass of the tiger. So therefore he requested the king that he wanted to do that, but the king refused that British officer, saying that he could arrange some other hunting for him if he desired. He could arrange a boar hunt, a tiger hunt, or even a mosquito hunt, or any other kind of hunt. But then that British officer made one more request, that if you do not want me to hunt, then you do the hunting. You just let me have the photograph with the carcass of the tiger. Then to this also the Maharaja refused. Why? Because he thought that if this permission is given to this person, then many other British officers will also come requesting for the same. So therefore he refused. But he was afraid, because he refused the permission of a British officer. So therefore he had deliberations with his assistant, with his divan, and then after that they had an idea, and a letter was telegraphed to the company of British jewelers, a British company in Calcutta, for to ask for 50 diamond rings. So around 50 very expensive diamond rings were brought from that British company of jewelers, and the king had an idea in his mind to give all those rings to the wife, Durai Sani, the wife of the British officer, and he thought that she would simply choose one or two rings out of those many, but that lady was a greedy lady, and she thought that all those rings were sent for her. So therefore she took all those rings, and then simply she sent a reply of thank you, and then after some time a bill of 3 lakh rupees came from the same company to the king, and the king was anxious because he had to pay that amount, that bill, but he was happy also. Why happy? Because finally he was able to save his throne, his place, his position. And after this the king continued his mission impossible, and he killed around 70 tigers in his kingdom, and it took around 10 years for him to kill these 70 tigers. 10 years. And after this, after killing these 70 tigers, 30 more, how many more remained? 30. And then after this, he had a desire to marry. After killing 70 tigers, he had a desire to marry. Reason? Because he wanted to marry a girl belonging to a kingdom that has large number of tigers population. So finally the Diwan Sahib arranged a girl also for him, and he got married. And now after this, each time he visited his father-in-law's house, he would kill 5 or 6 tigers, and then eventually he was able to kill total 99 tigers. So 99 tiger skins adorned the palace wall, reception hall in the palace. And when just only one tiger remained, this king became extremely excited, anxious, because 99 were killed. The last very important tiger was still remaining, and therefore he was highly anxious. And he called his Diwan Sahib once again, and he told him that Diwan Sahib, you are supposed to arrange this last tiger for me, otherwise you will have to lose your job. So Diwan Sahib, he was afraid, and he had no other choice. He had to find out, he had to arrange a tiger. And finally he was able to arrange a tiger that was brought from People's Park in Madras. And then he, along with his wife, both of them, they pushed this, dragged this tiger and pushed this tiger inside the car. And then in the midnight, they reached to the place where the king was busy hunting, finding for a tiger, and then that tiger was taken out of the car. And in the following day, the tiger wandered in the presence of the king, and the king was so happy, and it was like a surprise, great surprise for this king. And the king, without wasting any time, he took a careful aim at this tiger, and he shot a bullet, and the tiger falls on the ground. And the king became extremely happy, so happy, and he ordered his men to bring this tiger in great procession to the capital, to the town. And then the king left that place, and then after some time the tiger opened his eyes, and in bafflement he looked towards the king's men. And the king's men, when they saw the tiger, they were so afraid, because they thought if the king comes to know that he did not kill the tiger, then these two people would also have to lose their job. So therefore, they, without wasting any time, one of them, he took a very careful aim at this tiger, and at this time the tiger was really shot dead. And but do you remember what was the condition of the astrologer? That all the tigers were to be killed by the hands of the tiger king, the Maharaja. But the king thought that he killed that tiger. And after a few days, because this king was so busy all the time searching for the tiger, he had no time to spare with his family. And then after this, the third birthday of the king's son comes. And the king wanted to have a grand celebration on that birthday. And he wanted to give a very special gift to his son. So he goes to the shopping center and to find out the best gift for his son. And finally he reaches to a toy shop. In the toy shop he saw a tiger, a wooden tiger, and he really liked that, because the tiger in his life, for him, it was a symbol or the mark of bravery. And so therefore he took that tiger and he bought that tiger, and he decided to give that tiger as tiger toy to his son as his birthday gift. And both the father and the son, they started playing with that tiger, but that tiger was not well crafted. All over the tiger there were tiny silver which were coming out, which were there everywhere, silver coming out of from the wood, and they were everywhere on the surface. So one of that silver, it pierced the right hand of the king, and the king ignored that, and he pulled it out by his left hand, and he continued playing with his son. But in 4 days the condition of that hand became so bad, and the infection spreads everywhere. And then finally 3 surgeons from Madras were called, and those surgeons said that king needed an operation. So the king was taken inside the operation theater, and that operation was, and after some time, after operating the king, these 3 surgeons came out saying the operation was successful, but the king is no more. They could not save the king, but the operation was successful. So in this way, the final king, the final tiger, the last tiger, takes his final revenge upon the king. I hope that you all enjoyed this story. Thank you so much.